Hello Nintendo, we here. Welcome to episode 19 of Retro Gamer Week. This week we're going to be taking a look at a pretty obscure Game Boy game, but one that's really interesting and really important to Nintendo. Probably one that at least 90% of people watching this video will never have heard about, and that is Mania. Let me try and explain why this game is so interesting. It was released in 1996 in Japan, 97 in Europe and America, which was really bad timing because a few weeks before this was released, Pokemon was released, so really no kid in their right mind would pick a silly little game about moving a mole around some underground mazes over the phenomenon that was Pokemon Red and Blue, or Red and Green. It's not the only reason why this game is kind of obscure. It was also, for some reason completely forgotten about, it was also created by the one and only Shigeru Miyamoto. And how everyone's forgotten about this game I have no idea, because it is really fun, and you can see a lot of his design work that has gone into this game. The game's difficulty picks up pretty quickly. Straight after the tutorial you're just dropped into the first level and expected to complete some really obscure challenges and puzzles along the way. And if you mess up even once, if you move that little boulder one bit too far to the right or the left, you're pretty much screwed and you have to start the entire level all over again from the beginning. The game has a lot of similarities to the Legend of Zelda series. The way that throughout the levels you can collect different items which help you navigate your way around. You can collect a map, you can collect what's pretty much a compass that shows you where the boss room is. Also in each level there's a certain amount of cabbages that you need to collect, and once you collect all them you get a certain bonus. To collect the cabbages you have to actually try and get them into the holes that you make when you bury underground. So it can be a bit tricky, but you can also use them to defeat the enemies, which makes them a pretty useful feature to the levels. So don't drop them down the hole straight away if there's a monster walking around. It's probably best to throw it at them first. There's a lot to think about in this game and it really gets your brain ticking, and for an original Game Boy game it's pretty in-depth and quite long as well, so definitely value for money. At the end of each stage there's a boss fight, which is always a pretty unique feature. The levels are really long. The first level took me 14 minutes to complete and they just get bigger and bigger from there. it's immensely rewarding to get through the levels and finally beat the stage that you've been trying so hard to get your head around. It is a really, really cool game, and the graphics are really, really nice too. Especially if you play it on the Super Game Boy like I am, so you get the nice border around the outside as well. I definitely recommend this game if you have the time to put into it, because it is quite complicated and it will take a while to get used to the way you have to think about moving the boulders around, trying to get to the end of the level, digging underground and digging back up again to get to different areas. But if you can get your head around all that, then it's a pretty cheap game these days. You can pick it up for just a few quid. 100% worth it, and it's a piece of history, one of Miyamoto's forgotten classics. So if you're into Nintendo collecting, or you just want a pretty fun puzzler for the Game Boy, I cannot recommend Mania enough. Much like many other games at the time, there's 8 different worlds you have to go to. The cool thing is with this though, as soon as you finish the first world, you actually get the choice of going to any of the other 7 worlds before the final world in any order you want, which is really cool. So if you get a bit fed up of one, you can always go back and try a different level and then go and try the harder level after. They do pick up in difficulty quite quick though, and each level is rated out of 100 points. So if you find every little secret, do every little bonus stage, then you'll get 100 points for the level. And it is very satisfying to do, and you get a nice little jingle when you do it. Thanks for watching, see you in episode 20. Shit, I forgot to use the microphone.